What's up, everybody? Cynda here, and welcome back to another episode of Cynda Talks. Oh my.
Well. If it isn't my sworn nemesis.
Wait. You're the cryptocurrency guy. Yeah.
As I've already told you, I ditched that title a while back. I'm moving on to a exciting new concept. Revenge.
For what?
I was in intergalactic prison for 5 months. It was torture.
Look, I don't mean to detract from this, fairly horrific situation, but you did kind of do that to yourself.
That's subjective.
So what do you want?
Huh?
You kidnapped me. What do you want? Money? Ransom? Promotion?
Come on. You know exactly what I want. You promised me something. Or more specifically, all of us something.
This Super Metroid Let's Play's coming out soon. It's coming out soon.
Oh, shut up. The universe will implode before you get those videos out. I want one video in particular.
Didn't you want my channel deleted?
We all change with time. And right now, you making videos is, well, beneficial to me at the moment. So why don't we play a little game?
Ooh, Monopoly?
No! Say, what video were you planning on making today?
Luigi's Mansion. It's a really late Halloween vibe, hence the costume.
Well, luckily for you, I've placed a Nintendo GameCube right there on the ground. And I hope you brought a copy of Luigi's Mansion.
Why wouldn't I?
Wait, what?
What, is this weird? Luigi's Mansion is a game I have a lot of history with. Back in ye olden days, I would spend many a night watching Let's Plays of this game, wishing I could play it. I had a bit of an obsession with this game. As a youngster, I'd run around my house dressed as Luigi, holding the Game Boy Color we have and acting as if I was fighting ghosts. Similarly to Super Mario Sunshine, this was a game that I really wanted to play, but couldn't since I didn't have a GameCube controller or memory card for my Wii, and as a little kid I barely understood how all of that worked. So I got my Luigi's Mansion fix all the way in 2018, when Grezzo released a 3DS port of the GameCube original, and I finally bought the GameCube version off of eBay in late 2022, which finally completed my Luigi's Mansion collection. But does it hold up nowadays, or is my childhood nostalgia lying to me? Let's find out. Luigi's Mansion was released in 2001 for the GameCube as a launch title, and it shows. There's a ton of neat little details here and there that show how this was a tech demo to really show what the GameCube was capable of. There are mirrors everywhere, hyper-realistic dust, all kinds of lighting effects, and much higher quality visuals when compared to anything on the Nintendo 64. There were even plans to create a way to display the game in glasses-free 3D. They were really going all out to make sure this game looked as awesome as humanly possible, and as mentioned before, it shows. The story of this game is fairly simple. Luigi wins a mansion, goes inside, oh no, it's haunted. He meets Professor Egad, who gives him the Proton Pack, Poltergust 3000. Luigi enters the mansion and frees a bunch of boos who are characterized as being super powerful and evil, which honestly is a really neat idea, changing these goofy little marshmallow-looking things into diabolical ghosts. That's a pretty neat idea. Anyways, throughout the adventure we find out that Mario has been captured by the leader of the boos, King Boo. How original. The pacing here is really well done. There's a constant sense of progression with how each room is laid out. Most rooms are dark at first, but after battling the ghosts in each room, they light up and you gain a key to the next one. And while some may complain that this makes the game very linear, given how the mansion is laid out, it doesn't really feel that way. Sometimes you have to run all the way across the mansion or climb up some stairs to reach the next room. And this linear nature, I feel, helps the game a ton, since you're not hitting any walls exploration-wise. Even though I did get lost a few times in my GameCube playthrough. Whoops. Speaking of exploration, I love the constant feedback loop the game presents. There's money scattered across the mansion, and at the end of your playthrough, EGAD builds Luigi a new mansion based on how much money you collected. And while this may seem like a very minor inclusion, and frankly it is, it's so much fun to scramble around the mansion, picking up as much money as you can, trying to raise the stupid little number of Mario doubloons you have. And there are a ton of different ways to collect money as well. Speedy spirits are cleverly hidden throughout the mansion, as are the golden mice. The golden mice are found by scanning cheese or by random chance, which I think I'm supposed to be frustrated with the fact that I have to keep resetting a room for the mice to spawn, but to be honest, I don't mind. The random chance aspect is just another really fun tech demo-y thing for them to do, like, oh wow, look at these little random mice that appear randomly. They don't always do that. Even though random encounters have been a thing forever, it's just a neat little thing. Speaking of tech demo-y stuff, the money just exploding everywhere adds to the very satisfying nature of the exploration, plus the silly little jingle when Luigi picks up a gem combined with the Mario All-Star sprite is just so charming. And these tiny details permeate throughout the entire game. There's a ton of interactable objects like ceiling fans and curtains that have realistic physics, a plant that, if you water it throughout the game, will give you a super valuable gold diamond. The gameplay itself is also very well made. Catching ghosts is the name of the game here. Shine your flashlight to stun them and then suck them up. There's a fairly wide variety here. You got the classic ghosts that just sort of float towards you and punch. You got these guys that throw banana peels, these huggy guys, shy guy ghosts you have to suck their masks off before the flashlight works, etc., etc. But the main focus is on the portrait ghosts. These guys have unique designs and personalities, and add a ton of character to the otherwise dark and lonely mansion. The difference between the regular ghosts and the portrait ghosts is that these guys usually have some kind of weakness you have to find before you can defeat them. For example, waiting for this guy to yawn, or launching a pool ball back at this guy. And these solutions aren't always obvious, so it creates a nice puzzle dynamic to balance out the linear nature of the room progression. There's also the area bosses, which have a strangely unpredictable nature to them, and what I mean by that is that there's little build-up to most of them, mostly just a little cutscene or tiny minigame, and whoops, we're fighting a boss. The bosses themselves are fine, they mostly end up feeling like portrait ghosts with some extra depth, which isn't a bad thing at all, but the pacing can feel a little off sometimes. After fighting a boss, you receive a ranking based on how well you did, and these come in the forms of paintings that range from quick sketches to full paintings depending on your ranking. There's just so much polish and work that went into this game, and it makes the gameplay shine even more. Unfortunately though, the actual combat isn't all that great. Things can feel a bit unresponsive at times, whether it be the fact that my flashlight totally hit that guy, or the impossible to avoid poison mushrooms, the portrait ghost spawn, that can ruin your ranking and also lower the amount of valuable pearls they drop, or just the poltergeist being impossible to maneuver sometimes. But I think all this jank may add to the game thematically. Call me a Nintendo apologist, because it's true, but also because sometimes the janky poltergeist physics might actually be intentional. I mean, come on, Luigi is stuck in this spooky mansion. He's obviously not going to be in control of the situation any step of the way. So when you're reeling in a ghost, it's kind of uncomfortable when their health magically stops going down, or your flashlight just totally misses a ghost. The 3DS sequel, Dark Moon, completely fixes the combat and polishes up the equally janky boo fights, which in this game end up being these absolutely horrid games of cat and mouse where you get like half the boo captured, then it escapes into the hallway, get like 7 HP off before it flies back into the room again. This isn't fun, especially when the boo spouts some pun like, "Meow, my name is Bourgeoisie, meow." What was I saying? The sequel is better, sure, but the original's gameplay just has this janky charm to it you don't see much throughout the series. Although I did get to play the Luigi's Mansion arcade game based on the sequel, and my gosh, that thing is agony to control, so, I mean, I guess Capcom captured the magic of the original. Now to start wrapping things up here. King Boo is the final boss, and he's piloting this weird Bowser puppet thing, and this boss is fine. Like the rest, it's nothing too crazy, but it works well enough. Overall, this game is really good, but it's also pretty short. Game length isn't something I like to take into consideration because I personally find myself enjoying shorter games. And Luigi's Mansion, for me at least, is a really solid length, clocking in at around 7 hours on howlongtobeat.com. Back in the GameCube era, however, people didn't like how short the game was and started dropping all kinds of gnarly insults. And Luigi's Mansion was a 7 out of 10 game upon release. I think it holds up a little better than that though. But what about the 3DS remake I mentioned earlier? Well, it's really similar to the original, but man, playing the GameCube version made me realize that a game with this much analog stick movement just doesn't work at all with the 3DS circle pad. It's serviceable, sure, but that weird jank I mentioned earlier is cranked up to another level without a normal stick. And there's also little to no additional polish here, at least from what I can tell. But it does make the 3DS remake stand out as a solid way to play the original game if you don't feel like buying a GameCube and a controller and memory card and a copy of the game in a post-pandemic retro video game market. Plus there are achievements now. Ooh.
Wow. You call that a review?
What?
I don't know. It was fine. I just felt like being mean.
Oh.
Well, you've bested my first trial. We'll see how you fare against the second.
I mean, really, the only trial so far is getting these episodes out on time.
We'll see about that.